This is why many elderly people will not live past 82. If you're old, you need to see this now. A truth that could change your life forever. What if the secret to living vibrantly into your 80s, 90s, or even beyond isn't locked in a pill bottle, a gym membership, or a doctor's chart? What if it's something you've been taught to ignore, something you've quietly pushed aside out of shame or misunderstanding? Imagine waking up each morning with a spark in your heart, a spring in your step, and a mind as sharp as ever, simply by rediscovering a part of yourself you thought was lost to time. My name is Dr. James Carter, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of guiding seniors like you to not just add years to their lives, but life to their years. Today, I'm here to share a truth so powerful, so overlooked, it could rewrite the story of your golden years. This isn't about chasing youth or defying age. It's about reclaiming the vitality that still pulses within you. Through decades of clinical practice, thousands of patients, and countless studies, I've uncovered a silent epidemic stealing the joy and longevity of seniors across America. And no, it's not heart disease, cancer, or even loneliness. It's something far more intimate, something society whispers you should abandon after a certain birthday. But I'm here to tell you, that whisper is a lie, and the truth could set you free. Before we dive in, I invite you to join our community on YouTube, where we share life-changing health insights every week to help you thrive in your later years. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss a video that could transform your life. Now, let's begin this journey together. If you're ready to uncover a secret that could add not just years but vibrancy to your life, type 1 in the comments below. If you think there's something we can improve, type 0. Your feedback means the world to us. So, what's the one thing standing between you and a life filled with energy, joy, and independence well into your 80s? Let's find out. Part 1. The silent epidemic robbing seniors of their spark. Have you ever felt like life is slowly shrinking, like the world is growing quieter, colder, less alive? For so many seniors, this isn't just a feeling, it's a reality. Across cozy living rooms and bustling retirement communities, a quiet tragedy unfolds. Men and women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, people who once danced under starlit skies, laughed until their sides ached, and felt the world hum beneath their skin, are slipping away. Not from disease or disaster, but from a loss so subtle, so insidious, most don't even notice it until it's too late. I call it the silent epidemic of disconnection. It's not your cholesterol levels or your blood pressure readings that predict whether you'll thrive past 82. It's something far deeper, a gradual withdrawal from the physical pleasure that once made you feel gloriously, undeniably alive. When was the last time you truly felt your body sing with sensation? Not just in memory, but in the here and now. For too many seniors, that moment feels like a distant dream, locked away by time, shame, or the weight of society's expectations. Picture this: a 72-year-old man named Robert, a retired teacher from Ohio. He used to light up rooms with his quick wit and warm smile. But when I met him, his eyes were dim, his shoulders slumped. "Doc," he said, "I feel like I'm just fading." Robert wasn't sick, not in the way you'd think. His heart was fine, his labs were normal. But somewhere along the way, he'd bought into a lie whispered by the world, that after 65, pleasure, especially the kind of pleasure, was no longer his right. He'd closed the door on intimacy, touch, and even self-pleasure, believing they were relics of youth. And with that choice, he'd unknowingly begun to dim his own light. Robert's story isn't unique. In my 30 years of practice, I've sat with countless seniors who share that same quiet sadness. They've internalized a dangerous myth, that aging means surrendering the parts of you that make life rich, warm, and worth living. Society tells us intimacy is for the young, that touch is inappropriate after a certain age, that sexual expression, whether with a partner or alone, is something to leave behind. But what if that lie is costing you years of joy, health, and vitality? The truth is, disconnecting from physical pleasure doesn't just steal your spark. it steals your strength. Without regular stimulation, blood flow to vital organs slows like a river drying up in drought. Neural pathways tied to pleasure begin to fade like in used trails in a forest. Hormones that keep you energized and resilient tilt out of balance, leaving you tired, moody, or worse. Over time, your immune system weakens and risks of heart disease, dementia, and depression creep higher. I've seen it too many times. Vibrant men and women fading not because their bodies failed, but because they stopped fueling the fire that keeps them alive. So why does this happen? Why do so many of us turn away from something so essential? The answer lies in a web of shame, fear, and misunderstanding spun across decades. But there's hope. Reawakening your connection to pleasure isn't just possible, it's transformative. It's like turning on a light in a room you thought was forever dark. And the best part? You don't need fancy gadgets, expensive drugs, or a partner start. The key lies within you, waiting to be rediscovered. Are you ready to challenge the lie that's holding you back? Let's take the next step together and uncover why physical pleasure isn't just a luxury, it's a lifeline. Part 2. The power of pleasure. Why it's your secret weapon after 65. What if I told you that one simple act could sharpen your mind, strengthen your heart, and add years to your life, without stepping foot in a gym or swallowing a single pill? It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? But science doesn't lie, and neither do the stories of seniors who've reclaimed their vitality. The act I'm talking about isn't exotic or out of reach. It's something as natural as breathing, as human as laughter, self-pleasure. Yes, I said it, masturbation. When was the last time you even thought about it, let alone considered it a cornerstone of your health? For many seniors, the word alone brings a flush of discomfort, a whisper of old taboos. But hear me out. After 65, self-pleasure isn't just a private indulgence. It's a biological superpower that can keep you thriving when others are fading. Let's meet Sarah, a 68-year-old widow from Colorado. When she first came to my office, she was struggling with sleepless nights, foggy memory, and a heaviness she couldn't shake. "I feel like I'm just existing," she told me, her voice barely above a whisper. Like so many, Sarah had grown up in a world where self-pleasure was a topic shrouded in silence. After her husband passed, she assumed that part of her life was over. But when we talked about the science of pleasure, something shifted. What if her body was still capable of joy? What if that joy could heal her? Here's what the science says. When you engage in self-pleasure, your body lights up like a symphony. Blood surges through your brain, heart, and extremities, delivering oxygen and nutrients to tissues that might otherwise wither. Endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals, flood your system, melting stress and cradling you into restful sleep. Testosterone, even in modest boosts, strengthens muscles, bones, and your emotional fire. And your brain? It's a fireworks show. Studies from Harvard and UCLA show that sexual activity, including solo play, activates multiple brain regions, keeping memory sharp, mood bright, and creativity alive. Take a 2018 study from the Journal of Sexual Medicine. Researchers followed 3,500 seniors over a decade and found those who maintained regular sexual activity, partnered or solo, had a 23% lower risk of cognitive decline compared to those who didn't. Another study from the American Journal of Cardiology showed that men over 60 who engaged in sexual activity at least once a week had half the risk of heart attack compared to their inactive peers. Can you imagine a pill with that kind of power? But it's not just about numbers. Self-pleasure is an act of rebellion against a world that tells you to fade away. It's a declaration that your body still matters, that you're still worthy of joy. For Sarah, starting small, just a few minutes of gentle exploration in the privacy of her home changed everything. Within weeks, she was sleeping better, laughing more, even joining a local book club. "I feel like I'm waking up," she told me, her eyes bright with a spark I hadn't seen before. So, why does self-pleasure work such magic? It's not just biology, it's connection. When you touch your body with kindness, you're telling yourself, "I'm still here. I'm still alive." That message ripples outward, inspiring healthier choices, a walk in the park, a home-cooked meal, a call to an old friend. Pleasure isn't a destination. It's a journey that fuels every part of you. But if it's so powerful, why do so many of us shy away from it? The answer lies in a tangle of myths we've carried for too long. Let's unravel them next. Part 3. The myths that steal your vitality. What's the one belief about aging that's holding you back right now? Take a moment, really think about it. For so many seniors, it's a quiet, nagging voice that says, "You're too old for that. Too old for passion. Too old for touch. Too old for pleasure." These aren't just thoughts. They're chains, forged by decades of myths that dim your light and shorten your years. Let's shine a spotlight on these lies and break them apart one by one. Myth 1. Pleasure doesn't matter after 65. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, "I'm past all that now"? It's a belief so common, it feels like truth. But it's not. Your body doesn't stop craving touch or sensation just because you've celebrated a few more birthdays. It simply changes how it expresses that need. Giving up on pleasure because you think it's irrelevant is like deciding you don't need sunlight anymore. You might survive, but you won't thrive. Consider John, a 75-year-old veteran from Texas. He told me, "Doc, I thought pleasure was for my younger days. I'm old now, what's the point?" But when he started reconnecting with his body through gentle self-pleasure, he noticed something astonishing. His chronic back pain eased. His mood lifted. He even started painting again, a hobby he'd abandoned years ago. What if pleasure isn't a luxury, but necessity? Myth 2. Self-pleasure is shameful. Does the idea of self-pleasure make you uneasy? You're not alone. Many of us grew up in a world where it was whispered about in hushed tones, labeled as wrong or selfish. Those old messages sink deep, lingering like shadows even into our later years. But let me say this with all the compassion in my heart. Caring for your body is never shameful. It's an act of love, a way of honoring the incredible vessel that's carried you through life. I once worked with a 70-year-old woman named Margaret from Florida. She'd spent decades believing self-pleasure was sinful. But when she learned it could help her arthritis and insomnia, she took a brave step. "I felt silly at first," she admitted, "but now I feel like I'm meeting myself again." What if letting go of shame could unlock a new chapter of health and joy? Myth 3. Saving energy preserves strength. Have you ever thought, "I should conserve my energy, it's running out"? It's a tempting idea, but it's backward. Your body isn't a battery that depletes with use. It's a garden that thrives with care. Regular sexual activity, including solo play, keeps your systems humming. Hormones, circulation, muscles, nerves. Neglecting it is like leaving a garden untended. It withers, not because it's old, but because it's ignored. A 2020 study from the Journal of Gerontology found that seniors who engaged in sexual activity at least twice a month reported 30% higher energy levels and 25% better mobility than those who didn't. What if saving your energy is actually draining it? Myth 4. Sexual health doesn't affect overall health. Do you think your sexual health is separate from your heart, mind, or spirit? Think again. They're woven together like threads in a tapestry. When you nurture your sexual vitality, you're nourishing your entire being. Ignore it, and the whole fabric frays. Take Emma, an 80-year-old from California. After a hip replacement, she assumed her days of pleasure were over. But with guidance, she rediscovered gentle ways to connect with her body. Not only did her mood improve, but her physical therapy progress skyrocketed. "I didn't realize how much I was holding back," she said. What if your sexual health is the key to unlocking your overall wellness? These myths aren't just misunderstandings. They're thieves, stealing your right to a vibrant, fulfilling life. But now that you see them for what they are, you're ready to take back what's yours. So how do you start? Let's explore a simple, powerful method to reconnect with your body, step by step.